The Green Bay Packers have made significant moves this offseason, and the anticipation surrounding the roster is building. General Manager Brian Gutekunst has completed the heavy lifting, with most of the players who will start the season already in place. With 10 key additions, including 6 draft picks and 4 veterans, Gutekunst has strategically filled critical gaps, but it's not without its controversies. Let's unpack the pivotal choices Gutekunst made. The new defensive coordinator is stepping into a situation that's been revamped from the ground up. With the acquisition of defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, linebacker Zaire via trade, and cornerbacks Benjamin St. Just and Brandon Cisse in free agency, the defensive unit is shaping up to be a more formidable force compared to last year's lineup. It's clear that Gutekunst identified cornerback, defensive tackle, and defensive end as weak points, especially after losing key players like Rashawn Gary to trades and injuries. The reality is, the defense looks more talented than it did last season, and defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon is optimistic. He expressed confidence in the blend of youth and experience that the Packers have cultivated. They got a lot of talent, Gannon said, praising Gutekunst's ability to bring in quality players. The question now remains, can these new additions gel quickly enough to make an immediate impact? On the offensive side, the commitment to receiver Reed, now extended at an average of $16.75 million per season, raises eyebrows. This hefty investment hinges on Reed's ability to stay healthy after a challenging previous season. Coach Matt LaFleur has lauded Reed as a cultural cornerstone for the team, emphasizing his relentless work ethic and leadership qualities. But can Reed step up and fill the void left by the departure of players like Romeo Dew and Dontavian Wicks? As the Packers have streamlined their receiving core, it appears that Golden has transitioned from an afterthought to a key player that could benefit from the influx of targets. With Dew and Wicks being let go, the pressure is on Golden to capitalize on this opportunity. The passing game coordinator noted Golden's commitment to improving his mental game and playing faster. This is critical, especially considering the Packers will need all hands on deck if they want to compete in a loaded NFC North. In the backfield, uncertainty looms in the wake of losing Emmanuel Wilson and the decision not to draft a running back. Instead, the Packers seem committed to giving Marshawn Lloyd a chance to prove himself. After a slew of injuries, the coaching staff is optimistic about his ability to contribute alongside Josh Jacobs. This decision will be scrutinized. If Lloyd falters, will the Packers regret passing on an opportunity to bolster their running game? The tight end position is another area of concern. With John Fitzpatrick still recovering from a torn Achilles and no new draft picks to fill the void, the Packers might be left scrambling for depth. Swinson, a towering presence at 6'7", has a chance to secure a spot, but will his previous practice squad experience translate to game success? As for the cornerback position, the Packers have certainly addressed their previous shortcomings by signing St. Just and drafting promising talents like Cisse and Domani Jackson. However, with the spotlight now on Carrington Valentine to maintain his starting position, the pressure is palpable. Valentine's performance could dictate his future with the team, especially as Gutekunst's eyes are firmly set on the first-round draft pick, Cisse, who is expected to challenge for more than just a backup role. The offensive line saw some movement as well, with the release of kicker Brandon McManus following a playoff performance that raised eyebrows. Jacob Monk showed promise last season, but the arrival of Jaeger Burton adds competition to the center guard utility role. It's a dogfight, and the stakes have never been higher as players vie for their spots. As we look ahead, the Packers have positioned themselves for a more competitive 2024 season, but they are far from settled. Fans, where are you watching from? What's your take on these roster changes? The Packers have reloaded, but can they translate this potential into wins on the field? This offseason has set the stage for critical performances, and the next news item will shine a light on the implications of these moves. As we dive deeper into the NFL's schedule week, the anticipation builds for the Green Bay Packers as they await the announcement of their season's path. Will they kick off at the legendary Lambeau Field or hit the road right out of the gate? More intriguingly, there's buzz about a potential international clash with the New Orleans Saints in Paris. The NFL is set to unveil the full schedule soon, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Every season opener carries weight, but some games resonate more profoundly with the fans and players alike. Remember last year's dramatic home opener against the Detroit Lions, which marked the debut of Micah Parsons. That was a game that had the entire league buzzing compared to a more mundane matchup against the Cleveland Browns soon after. This year, we can expect similar dynamics. Certain games will undoubtedly hold more significance, stirring the emotions and passion of the pack. Starting with the New York Jets, it's intriguing to note their current trajectory. They appear to be looking ahead, not just at the upcoming season, but all the way to 2027. The Jets hope to finally find a solution to their long-standing quarterback dilemma, much like they did when they acquired Geno Smith from the Las Vegas Raiders. After a dismal 3-14 finish last year, they're hardly expected to be a formidable foe. For Packers fans, the memory of Aaron Rodgers throwing a game-winning touchdown to Davante Adams in overtime against the Jets remains fresh. It's a reminder that the Packers can handle adversity and rise to the occasion, regardless of the opponent's struggles. Switching gears to the Atlanta Falcons, their new regime under Kevin Stefanski has captured attention. They boast a wealth of talent, including elite running back Bijan Robinson and a dynamic receiving duo in Drake London and Kyle Pitts. The looming question, however, sits at the quarterback position, where Michael Penix aims to solidify his role, especially with the addition of Tua Tagovailoa. For the Packers, this matchup could present a significant challenge, particularly if it falls into a late-season context when playoff positions are on the line. Then we have the Saints, who had a surprising season last year, finishing with a respectable 6-11. They, too, are navigating salary cap challenges from the Drew Brees era. However, with second-year quarterback Tyler Shaw looking to build momentum, New Orleans remains an unpredictable opponent. The potential for this game to take place in Paris adds an interesting twist. Yet, history shows the Packers haven't fared well abroad, with losses in London and Brazil in recent seasons. Still, it's essential to recognize that every game carries weight, and underestimating a last-place team could be a grave mistake. Looking at the Carolina Panthers, who managed to pull off a significant upset last season, they've transitioned into contenders with their NFC South title run. The Packers must remain vigilant against a team that knows how to punch above its weight. The departure of Rico Dowdle to the Steelers does ease some concerns for Green Bay, but the memories of last year's loss linger. The Battle of the Bays promises to be a thrilling encounter, especially with Baker Mayfield leading a potent offense. The Packers have struggled in Tampa, but managed a tight win in their last meeting. The stakes will be high, as both teams will look to assert themselves in a fierce game that could light up the scoreboard. The matchup against the New England Patriots is another highlight, with Drake May leading a squad fresh off a Super Bowl appearance. The coaching duel between Mike Vrabel and Matt LaFleur is worth its weight in gold, as both coaches know each other's strategies intimately. The Packers need to be at their best against a well-disciplined team in a notoriously challenging environment like Foxborough. However, the most pressing concern for the Packers remains their offensive line. Facing the Houston Texans and their formidable pass rush led by Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter will be a true test. The last meeting between these teams ended dramatically with a walk-off field goal, and fans are eager to see how Green Bay can adapt and overcome this time around. As we shift focus to the Minnesota Vikings, the stakes are always high in division matchups. After demolishing the Vikings last season, the anticipation is palpable. With Kyler Murray likely stepping in as their new quarterback, this game presents both challenges and opportunities for the Packers defense, which will need to adapt to a different style of play. The Packers' rivalry with the Bears remains fierce. Last year saw 3 nail-biting encounters, showcasing the intense competitive spirit between the two teams. With the Bears rising to NFC North champions, Green Bay faces the pressure of reclaiming their dominance over their oldest rivals. With the stakes higher than ever, the Packers must regroup and come out swinging. Looking ahead to the Cowboys, the return to Lambeau Field could be pivotal. Last year's thrilling tie left fans hungry for more. The return of Dak Prescott presents another formidable challenge, especially as both teams look to solidify their playoff aspirations. In the grand scheme of things, the Packers' schedule offers a mix of potential triumphs and looming tests. Games against heavyweights like the Buffalo Bills and Los Angeles Rams could serve as early indicators of how well Green Bay stacks up against the league's elite. The Packers need to rise to the occasion, especially against the reigning MVP, Matthew Stafford. With the rivalry reigniting, the Packers must focus on consistency and resilience as they navigate this challenging schedule. The road to the playoffs will be filled with obstacles, but if they harness their strengths and adapt to the challenges, Green Bay has every chance to reclaim their place at the top of the NFC North. Stay tuned as we delve further into the next exciting storyline surrounding the Packers.
As we delve deeper into the latest developments surrounding the Green Bay Packers, we find ourselves reflecting on a bold move made during the draft that has fans buzzing with anticipation. After trading up to the 77th spot, the Packers selected Missouri defensive tackle Chris McClellan, a decision that sparked a fair amount of skepticism among analysts and fans alike. Some questioned why Green Bay would reach for a player who wasn't a household name, especially with other more recognized prospects still available. But let's get one thing straight. This pick is already starting to pay dividends. From the moment the Packers made the move from pick 84 to grab McClellan, reactions varied widely. Many draft boards had him ranked lower than other potential targets like Iowa State's Dominique Orange, leading to a chorus of "who?" echoing through the fanbase. However, behind the scenes at Lambeau Field, the confidence in McClellan was unwavering. The team's grading of him was significantly higher than what the consensus suggested, and early indications from rookie minicamp are confirming that internal assessment. Defensive line coach Vince Oghobaase has been vocal about McClellan's impressive learning curve, noting that he has adapted to the team's techniques and schemes faster than I thought he would. This isn't just typical coach speak for a mid-round rookie. These comments are reserved for players who demonstrate the ability to contribute right away. That's precisely what fans want to hear as we look for the next cornerstone of our defensive line. Let's take a closer look at why the Packers were so keen on McClellan. His on-field resume tells a compelling story. Standing at 6'4" and tipping the scales at 313 pounds, McClellan possesses the size and strength that has been sorely lacking in the heart of Green Bay's defensive line. He's not only adept at anchoring against the run, but his agility also allows him to stay on the field during passing downs, providing the kind of flexibility that the Packers have craved for years. With changes underway in the defensive front, the Packers are in dire need of a player who can stabilize the interior. McClellan seems poised to slide into the starting nose tackle role sooner rather than later. Coaches are already impressed with his ability to process information quickly, which is often the most significant challenge for rookie defensive linemen. If he keeps progressing like this, we're not just looking at a rotational player. We could be witnessing the emergence of a foundational piece for the Packers' defense. In the world of drafting, it's not merely about reacting to rankings. It's about projecting future success. The Packers made a calculated decision based on their evaluation of McClellan's character, versatility, and potential. Now, just days into rookie minicamp, the signs are pointing toward a player who is ready to validate that faith. Skepticism surrounding this pick is slowly but surely dissipating, replaced by a growing excitement among fans. And as for that gamble, it's rapidly shaping up to be one of the most astute moves of the Packers' draft strategy. Chris McClellan may not have made headlines on draft night, but he's quickly carving out a reputation as one of the most intriguing rookies in the Packers' 2026 class. If his early performance is any indication, we might just look back on this selection as the moment Green Bay quietly secured a long-term game-changer for its defensive line. As we wrap up this discussion, I want to hear from you, Packers fans. Where are you watching from? What do you think about the selection of Chris McClellan? Is he the next cornerstone of our defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're passionate about the Packers, make sure to subscribe for more in-depth analysis and updates. Let's rally behind this team and see where this thrilling journey takes us.